get ready, because it's time for Geek Bombast, the weekly podcast dedicated to bringing you news, reviews, and general discussion on comics, movies, TV, video games, and anything else deemed totally awesome. On the show this week is Rod Nunley, Nick Budd, and myself, John Sitton. This is going to be an all Comic-Con episode of the show. No reviews will be had.
But we'll have reviews for you.
We talked about it. There are reviews we have, but to be honest with you, there's just so much San Diego stuff.
There's so much San Diego stuff, and there was so little review stuff, because, I mean, I'm going to be honest.
I think plenty of review stuff. But
I'm just saying, I'm going to be honest. Not a lot came out this week.
No,
Comic-wise, movie-wise.
Isn't San Diego week always kind of a slower week?
It might be.
It always depends.
Yeah.
Depends on what independents release stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so I mean, so I mean, on the plus side is we're news heavy, so hey.
Yes.
So it's just me nerd talking.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something we've got for you today. But before we go any further into that, before we go into our news section, how's everyone's week doing?
Good.
Yeah, no, it's been a week.
Yeah?
Work.
I feel like I've been busy all week, but I
worked 7 days in a row. It was awesome. And by awesome, I mean it sucked. But I'm done now, so I did.
Yeah. I feel like I've been busy all week, but I don't know what I've done.
And I know next week is going to be very busy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, Dave's leaving on vacation for a week.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm excited. At the end of the week, I get to treat myself. I'm going to a Black Sabbath concert.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ozzy!
Yeah, I get to see Ozzy sing.
Definitely nice.
No.
Well, I think he sings better than he actually talks.
No, that's actually a known fact.
Yes,
that's probably true.
But he actually talks better since he had that operation, though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, but I've never seen him in concert, so
I have an important question. My wife watched this. I did not watch this. How many of you guys watched Sharknado?
I have not seen it, but that does not mean I will not see it because me and Amanda really want to watch it. We just didn't have a chance to watch it on the Sci-Fi Channel. We're going to wait for the DVD to come out in September.
I've not seen it, but I saw that awesome cosplay at San Diego where
there
a woman was wearing a Sharknado on top of her head.
That's awesome. I did not know that. I have not seen it. My wife said it was hysterically funny and awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, how could it be called Sharknado and not be awesome?
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm, and then it was funny because like after the announcement of that movie, someone went online and made a bunch of movie posters for other shark films that would be spin-offs of Sharknado. Like there was Sharknado 2, Sharkicane, Sharkano.
How is it not
Shark type?
How is it not a shark turtle
Yeah,
hurricane?
It was
How is it not
Sharkicane
or whatever it was? How is that not what it was? Doesn't that make more sense than Sharknado?
Well,
had it been a hurricane, at least it would have come from the ocean.
Well, I don't think we're
hurricanes generally
My wife just texted me, Sharknado will change your life.
I'm sure it will. I'm waiting for it to change my life. But I gotta wait for the DVD to come out.
Right. Blu-ray. You want to get it in high definition.
Yeah. Well, the reason is because my girlfriend has a fear, an unnatural fear of sharks. And when I say unnatural,
she's of the age. She probably saw Jaws when she was a little kid. That fear is not unnatural.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's unnatural in that she can be like nowhere near water, and she still fears shark attacks.
Right.
So we plan to celebrate her birthday by watching a ton of shark movies.
Does she know the phenomenon of weresharks from D&D?
Awesome.
No, but I am down for that. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're sharks on land.
Oh, street sharks.
Street sharks.
Land shark.
Yes.
Land shark.
And you had to remind me of that cartoon.
Candy Green.
And that great SNL skit.
Candy Green.
Yeah.
Census.
Guys, this skit's going on too.
Alright, sorry.
Anyways, but
I'm looking at the computer here. We said it's gonna be all news. It's really gonna be all news. There's a ton of news. There's a ton of
It's
stuff.
5 days worth of just nonstop press releases.
Well, we do have one fan comment from Facebook that we
Let's talk about it.
before we
Let's get
move
it out
on
of the
to the gigantic topic of San Diego Comic-Con, which none of us were at this year. Flavio Faz.
I know Flavio. He's a good guy.
From Facebook says
Flavio's got a bat'leth. Just FYI, so don't piss him off. He's got a bat'leth. Klingon sword thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I knew what you were talking about. I was just like, why are you threatening me?
I think he made it. I think he makes bat'leths.
Wow. But his question is, has there been a storyline you really liked, hated the art? his was New Mutants Volume 1, the Demon Bear Saga.
The Demon Bear Saga. I don't think I've read that.
It's the Bill Sienkiewicz stuff.
Oh, I don't like Sienkiewicz is not for everybody.
No, it's not.
No, I can definitely see that. I like him more as I get older. I think I appreciate him a little bit more. When I was young, I definitely didn't like him. You know, I used to not like John Romita Jr.
Yeah.
There was a time when I actually actively disliked his artwork, and it has grown on me over the years. But
well, speaking of which, and I hate to interject this question from last week, there was a person who asked, is there an artist or writer whose work you hated at first, but eventually grew to like looking back on it?
John Romita Jr. for sure. I mean, I actively would avoid comics he drew because it was too blocky. It was too blocky. I didn't like it. And then I don't know what it was. I think it was when he did his run on Thor. And it wasn't even particularly well written run, but it was okay. But when he did his run on Thor, I don't know, something about it clicked with me, and I've liked him ever since. And actually have grown to really, I think he's in my top 10. He's one of my favorites now.
Yeah.
But going back to the Flavio's question though,
what's the Alex Ross book that he didn't draw but he wrote? Earth X. I don't like the art in Earth X.
I kind of like the art. I don't like the story.
I can't remember who was drawing that.
I don't know either. I just remember not liking it.
Yeah.
All I know is I got the big collector's edition. It's all in black and white, and the art black and white looks. Yeah, with the case. The art in black and white looks really nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a sort of instance where this has occurred.
Anything Rob Liefeld has drawn and a writer I like writes.
I know another one. Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum. I don't like the art.
Isn't that one that Dave McKean? Yeah. You don't like Dave McKean's art?
I like Dave McKean. I don't like Dave McKean's Arkham Asylum.
Okay. I think the ears are too pointy.
I just don't like
it. Too big.
It's just I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. For me, it's not superhero-y enough. I need it to be a little more superhero-y.
I can understand that.
You know,
I can understand.
Not a lot, but a little.
Alright.
Yeah, it's weird because Stankiewicz, didn't he do Daredevil? Didn't he do a big chunk of Daredevil? Elektra?
Yes, he did an Elektra book with Frank Miller.
Yeah, and he's borderline. He's like those two artists for me. He's just on this side of okay, for it's just superhero-y enough. And then Dave McKean and Arkham Asylum is just like a half a block over, just a little too. Yeah. Fair enough. So, what about you? Anything?
Nothing's popping for me. I can't.
You love it all.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely ones I don't, but
like I said, the first thing that popped in my mind was the guest spot back when Jeff Johns was doing Teen Titans. There was a 2-issue guest artist piece that Rob Liefeld did. The art was just fucking awful. But the story was actually really well written.
Wasn't that true for
every book?
Grant Morrison did his JLA run. Wasn't there a fill-in artist that came in?
Oh, that actually is now that you bring that up, in his JLA run, I do not like the art on it, but I love the stories. And it's Howard Porter on it.
Howard Porter, who I do not love, or did not love on that.
He's just not great. I mean, he's okay, but
he's a workman. He's a workman comic artist. He comes in, he does the job, he gets it done, but there's nothing that wows him.
And he was one of the main artists on that book. I mean, he did a huge chunk of it.
Interesting. And there was another one that I had in my head, and it just went away when I saw it.
Grant Morrison's New X-Men, the final story by Mark Silvestri. Did not like that. I like the story.
I like Silvestri. Was it different art than him normally?
No, it was Mark Silvestri's art.
I like Silvestri's art.
Yeah, no,
it's all right.
I'm a big fan.
It's pretty 90s, but
when you place it with Frank Quietly.
Oh well, okay, fair. That's not fair.
Well, no. But that storyline had Frank Quietly. It had a bunch of different artists that sort of fit in that style.
Oh, you're talking about his X-Men with Zorn and all that. Yeah.
The final story just feels so out of touch with everything else because of the art. For me, at least.
And I think it's true. There are artists who can really, it really can wreck a great story. I mean,
another one I can think of is J. Michael Straczynski's Rising Stars. I actually really like this book. However, there was like a 2-3 year gap between
Rising Stars is good, yeah.
The last 2 issues, because they had to find a new artist to do it, because it had taken so long for him to actually get the scripts done or whatever, because of all the other stuff he was doing. They got a brand new artist, and I just remember hating the art not because it wasn't the previous artist, who I forget who it was, but I just remember hating the art just because it was so not good.
Yeah.
That's really.
I never finished reading Rising Stars.
It kind of falters towards the end because of that 2-year gap. Because he kind of comes back, and it's very obvious he hadn't written those final 2 issues until he actually sat down many years later.
That's too bad.
Yeah. But other than that, it was actually a good book.
Yeah, I mean, I read I think the first 2 volumes of it.
There's a few issues that I didn't like because this was right when Ted Turner was kind of screwing him over with Babylon 5.
You're saying Rising Stars. I'm sorry.
You're thinking of Midnight Nation.
I was thinking Midnight Nation, which I like. Rising Stars, I think, fell apart very quickly.
Yeah.
The first half of it's good, and then you just breathe it out.
Oh, Midnight Nation, I really like.
Midnight Nation,
That's,
fantastic.
I love
the
Midnight
art on
Nation.
that.
Gary Frank.
Yeah, I actually like the art on that book.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's
no,
because it's Gary Frank.
Yeah, Rising Stars has two problems, in that about halfway into it, this is at the same time that Straczynski was getting screwed over by Ted Turner with Babylon 5 and Crusade and all that. So he basically decided to use the book as his way to take potshots at Ted Turner. So anytime a building would get destroyed, the news would report that it was a Turner building. Or it was a subsidiary of Ted Turner's company or whatever, and it was just kind of like, okay, we get it, you hate him, please stop, you're taking me out of the story.
You're saying Straczynski did something that wasn't good? Alright, sorry.
I like Straczynski.
I like Straczynski.
He has its moments.
His moments.
His Thor run.
His Thor one was good. I actually like his Spider-Man run, even though a lot of people hate it.
I don't hate it, I don't like it.
There are a few moments I don't care for, but I think overall I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
I like the Spider Totem stuff.
And
I don't hate it.
More recently, I actually liked the Before Watchmen stuff quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Alright, anything else?
No, that's pretty much it as far as questions
Holy
go.
crap, let's get to all this news.
Alright. Alright, you guys all
Are you paused?
I'm paused.
Honey, you're being very loud.
Sorry.
Please stop. Thank you. Continue.
So we got a whole ton of news.
There's a lot of news.
Yeah.
There's a lot of news. Alright, so let's start.
How should we start this? Like, where do we start? Do we just dive in?
I do know where we should start.
Oh, okay.
I think we should start with the Eisner Awards.
Okay.
That's the
That's a
thing,
good one.
right?
You know what? Yeah, no, it's a very good idea.
That's the 2013 Will Eisner Comic Industry Award winners. We should talk. I'm going to go through the list and kind of hit some highlights here, and justify how right we are about so many things. And let's see what we can start with. So, best single issue was The Mire by Becky Cloonan.
Which I think
that I reviewed and said it was awesome.
Yes.
And people agreed.
Yes.
And best series and best continuing series, the beginning of their sweep apparently, is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples.
Yeah.
Books that we've been talking about loving for a very long time.
Yes.
Saga is really, really good.
I want a giant hardcover.
I really want a giant hardcover. Very bad.
I'm this close to emailing Brian Vaughn and saying, "Where's the hardcover?"
Yeah, no, seriously.
Dear son of a bitch, where is my goddamn?
No,
I've been like holding off buying.
Because I look
trades,
every day. I look at those trades and I'm like, I want to read the
soft
story again. I
collections.
want to read the story again. It's really good. Do I buy the trades? No.
There's a few books that I'm like that with.
Because Image does great hardcovers.
Yes,
they
do.
really do.
Yes.
They've got to make one.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
No, take your time. Best humor publication, friend of the show, Jeffrey Brown's Darth Vader and Son.
I love Jeffrey
Big
Brown.
winner. That is fantastic. And what's great is I actually saw this book just the other day at Toys R Us in the book section, the children's book
and there's
section.
a sequel.
That is fantastic.
Vader's Little Princess.
Hopefully,
Vader's Little Princess.
hopefully he's getting really rich off of that.
I would imagine.
Probably better than some, I suppose. Best graphic album new was Building Stories by Chris Ware. Best adaptation from another medium was Richard Stark's Parker, The Score, adapted by Darwin Cook. Best graphic album reprint, King City by Brandon Graham, a book we also talked about and loved. We also loved The Score.
It's great.
It was also a book of the month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
When we did our book of the month.
Beautiful book.
It even has flaps.
Yep.
It does. It has fun. We love books with flaps. Best archival collection project, Dave say his last name? From Daredevil Born Again.
David Mazzucchelli?
There you go. Dave Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again, Artist Edition, edited by Scott Dunbar.
I've almost smacked Randy over the head at Unconscious to take his Artist Edition.
Yeah, I flipped through it at his house as well.
I saw it.
It's too bad I looked at it because it's got some drool on it now.
I reached for it and he slapped my hand. Because he's like, no, everyone else is threatened, I'm not allowing you to threaten me.
We were ordering a few other things the other day, and Jeff Smith's doing a artist edition of Bone, and he was contemplating. I was like,
"What's that gonna weigh? 1,000 pounds?" No,
it was like
just
the
doing a
first one.
section of it.
And I was like, I reminded him, they just announced like 6 different artist editions at San Diego, and you're going to be buying all of them. And he's like, oh,
see if you can find those. I would like to know what they're doing.
Oh, Mike McNull's Hellboy.
Oh.
Is the one that Randy was all like, just take one.
Yeah. They're so expensive, but they're so
I do want to state one that you skipped over. Best digital comic.
Oh yeah, what
was Bandette by Paul Tobin and Colleen Coover from Monkey Brain Comics, which I definitely agree. Bandette is awesome.
And I believe it's actually getting a physical release here soon.
I've heard that, yes. Much like Mass and Monsters, which we reviewed last week.
Yep.
Awesome. Black Sad Silent Hell won Best U.S. Edition of International Material. We love Black Sad here.
So far, I have no problem with any of these.
Best Writer, Brian K. Vaughan for Saga. Best Writer/Artist, Chris Ware for Building Stories. This is the one I like the most. Best Penciler/Inker, a tie. David Aja from Hawkeye, Chris Samney from Daredevil, and Rocketeer Cargo of Doom.
Basically all the artists on that.
So David Aja and Chris Samney.
Yeah, Chris Samney.
That you can't go wrong with.
No.
The only argument I would make is it should have been a 3-way tie. Where's Marcus Martin?
But honestly, those are 2 of the best artists that are working right now.
Yeah, David Aja is amazing.
I agree with you completely on that.
Best cover artist, David Aja, Hawkeye. I cannot disagree with that. He has had the best looking covers all year.
Best coloring was Dave Stewart.
Honestly, you just give him the award every year.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Dude's awesome.
Best lettering, Chris Ware. Kind of, yeah.
This year in the Hall of Fame, they put in Lee Falk, Al Jaffe, Mort Miskin, Trina Robbins, Spain Rodriguez, and Joe Sinnott. Some of those names I will admit I do not know. And then those are kind of... Oh, and Will Eisner, Spirit of Comics... Oh, that's the retailer award. Challenger Comics in Conversation Chicago won that. That's kind of a big deal, I guess, right? That's all the big ones. So, I think... I don't disagree with any of those.
Yeah,
no,
I can't...
They're good awards.
They're all good awards.
Unlike the Oscars, where I always disagree with all of them. So let's talk about the next piece of news. The rumors are no longer rumor. Colby Smulders will be appearing in the pilot episode of the new S.H.I.E.L.D. television show. And there, of course, is now the rumors are that as soon as How I Met Your Mother wraps up, they'll bring her on to the show in a more full-time basis.
It's their final season this year, right?
This is their final season?
Yeah, and I know that Sam Jackson says that he wants to appear in the show in some capacity.
Well, you know what you gotta love about Sam? He's really a fanboy. Whatever project he's involved with, he really wants to be involved with.
I think at this point he probably thinks he is Nick Fury.
He technically is in the Ultimate Universe, even though they're getting rid of it.
I think he wears the same. My theory is under his trench coat, he's still got his purple lightsaber. He gets so
and the bad motherfucker.
Yeah, he gets so worked up into his.
I was gonna say what we don't know is that the inside of his jacket is lined in purple, and he's wearing his purple lightsaber.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the inside of his jacket might be. I can't remember.
That's a Shaft reference.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some DC entertainment on films.
Okay.
Well, we're not doing the I guess we should roll it all in together. This is the one that I was talking about.
Okay.
This is a little different. Now, there is a bigger one we're going to talk about later. But Diane Nelson is the... Sorry. I got to read through here and figure out who
God
she is.
has lost the news.
I've lost the thread. Well, I've got the thing here. I don't know who she is. All right. So they talked to someone from DC. DC Entertainment's Diane Nelson. And she's talking about some of the other films, not the big ones that everybody thinks of right away. She is saying at DC Entertainment that DC Comics is one of the biggest priorities for the new CEO. And in regards to these are a few snippets of things she said. On the Green Lantern movie, in the debate of art versus science, sometimes the mix just isn't right, but we will find some other way to bring that character to the screen.
Can I just interject? Do you want to see Hal Jordan used again? We may have talked about this.
I think we might have. I think, honestly, if you do a Justice League movie, you bring in Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I'd probably agree.
I'm another Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You just say, I'm another Green Lantern, and you say he's from a different zone, and Hal's busy, and then it's a throwaway line, and you bring in John, and it's fine.
Oh.
I don't have a problem with using
yeah,
Hal Jordan, but you have to change the costume.
I just had a conversation with a friend about this, and we all agreed that they should either use Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner. And
Yeah, I would be fine with Kyle Rayner too. I think Jon Stewart would be good because it gives him a little bit more diversity. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, they'll just include Cyborg in the movie. That seems to be what they're doing now.
But you could have more than one black guy. That'd be all right.
No.
it's what. Yeah.
Sorry, I was being racist for a moment there.
This is another interesting quote. Here's another interesting quote.
I'm just joking around.
Yes,
The Sandman is right on top, that's in quotes, of the list of a DC Vertigo titles Nelson wants to see on screen. I think it could be as rich as the Harry Potter universe. I will say this, it is painful for them to say that. There's two things going for them. A, that they compared it to a Harry Potter thing where it would be long and involved in multi-picture.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
B, if Neil Gaiman's show on HBO is successful, it will increase the chances of that happening, and I think more so it will increase the chances of Neil Gaiman being involved, and that would be an okay thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they need to treat the Sandman stuff with kid gloves. I mean, that's
Very careful.
It's iconic for them at this point. I mean, it's the same way that
They already messed it. They already did Watchmen and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Those are the two lesser, right? That's the second and third in the pantheon of Vertigo stuff.
Yeah.
I guess Watchmen's not Vertigo, but you know what I mean.
At this point, it is.
It kind of is.
I think it was.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. Doesn't it make you a little bit? Doesn't it make you a little bit like excited, like a little bit like, fuck, I'd love to see that. That'd be great if it was done right.
Man, I love that opening storyline of the Sandman stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite. Drawn by Sam Keith.
Yeah. The only problem I have with that is they just take out the mention of Batman, and I'd be happy. All right. Others include things that they talked about in regards to DC/Vertigo titles that they want to see on screen: Fables, Metal Men, Justice League, and Aquaman. So obviously Justice League and Aquaman are not part of the Vertigo side of that. But Fables, I think, would make... Fables seems like...
attached a director to it.
Fables feels like a no-brainer to me because, it was already going to be a TV show that basically got turned into Once Upon a Time. So, they know that it works.
Yeah.
That it can be done. On Vertigo's lack of potentially lucrative titles due to competitors' more equitable media right deals, she says we have to take certain steps that maybe we didn't in the past to make sure that Vertigo is a place where creators feel they can bring a property and have a good chance of it getting seen, prioritized, appreciated, and hopefully developed into other media.
That line kind of bothers me. Because
it should be a good comic.
It comes off as them going, hey, come to Vertigo and we'll get you made into a movie. And not, hey, Vertigo, the place where awesome stuff lives.
Which is what it has been in the past. Yeah. And honestly, it's kind of bleeding right now. There's like only like 2 or 3 Vertigo books. But they are trying to do a big push. They just put out a sampler last week focusing on new books that are coming out. They have Snyder's The Wake. They've got a few other things. I know a book hitting like Trillium and a few other books coming out. So they're trying.
And then last on this little bit, she said, on Wonder Woman's exposure on film and television, we have to get her right. We have to. She is such an icon for both genders and all ages and for all people who love the original TV show and people who read the comics now. That's an accurate statement.
It is.
I mean, I don't have any faith in them, but it is an accurate statement.
I just have to remind them, you had Joss Whedon. You screwed that up.
Yeah, and Joss, I think one of the quotes from Comic-Con this weekend was... Somebody asked Joss Whedon about the chance of going back to Wonder Woman, and he said none.
Yeah.
He's not going back to it. All right, in different news, Dark Horse, this is a small thing, but it tickled me. Dark Horse Comics releases new Plant vs. Zombies miniseries by Paul Tobin and Ron Chan.
I've read the first issue. It's actually not bad. It's an all-ages book, obviously, but it's actually not bad at all. The first issue is for free online. I think they put out the first and second issue together. The first issue is free, the second issue is 99 cents. I think it's a 6-issue series, with each issue being 99 cents, and then they're going to release like a collected edition.
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's only free through July 21st, so it is no longer free as of today as we're recording. But it is 99 cents per installment, released roughly bi-weekly through August 14th before being collected in a hardcover on November 6th.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's the main 2 characters are 2 kids.
And they have the crazy redneck on the cover too.
Yeah, that's the uncle of one of the kids.
Yeah.
But it's actually, like I said, the first issue is actually a lot of fun.
Oh, I trust that.
It's definitely if you have a kid who loves playing the game, or even if you're someone who just loves the game.
Paul Tobin is a good writer, so
yeah.
I think
I was like, oh, and then they said Paul Tobin. I'm like, oh, well, Paul Tobin's pretty cool. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I bought the first 2 issues. I haven't read the second issue yet, but I got the first 2 issues immediately because I know my girlfriend loves Plants vs. Zombies, and I'm a fan of it as well.
I love that game. It's one of the you know me. I never beat any video games.
The comic has
one of the few games I've beaten a couple of times because it's just fun to play.
Yeah, and the comic has the same sense of humor as the game, awesome. So in that regard, it's pretty awesome.
In weird news, because juggling 2 relationships wasn't enough of a challenge, this fall Archie is taking on the undead. Launching in October is Afterlife with Archie, a new monthly series from Roberto Aguilar Sacarza and Francisco Francavilla about Archie, Betty, Veronica, and the gang fighting off a zombie invasion in Riverdale. Archie Comics will be showing a promotional trailer for the new series at a panel at San Diego Comic-Con. But The Hollywood Reporter debuted it today. You can check it out if you go to comicalliance.com. When they spoke to the writer about the series, he told them the idea for the series came about. It's as simple as I was having breakfast with John Goldwater and a couple of other people and saying, by the way, I love that zombie cover that Francisco did for Life with Archie. And then I guess the next thing you know, we all had a moment. I actually don't even know who said it first, but we were like, that would be a great comic book. And it was as easy as that. Is this a good idea?
Aren't they like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years late to the comic, or to the zombie comic?
I don't know if you could be late to the zombie comic, just because people love zombies. There is this huge fascination. Oh, I am too. But
I love zombies. I don't know that that doesn't have any bearing on this.
But it's like an R rated. It's not all ages though.
It's not all ages. This is.
And I think that's the biggest place.
I think that's the mistake. I think kids. It's weird. Kids come in to read Walking Dead and pick up Walking Dead. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
But she'll take their money. I get it.
But yeah, no, of course. But I would love to be able to hand them an all-ages zombie book and with some humor and fun stuff. And I wish I could do that. But this is going to be sort of in that same vein, I think, of maybe not as mature as Walking Dead, but But it's going to have Francavilla artwork, so therefore I'm happy.
I think it's a bad idea. I think we all agree it's a little weird.
It'll sell, though.
It'll sell.
But see, the thing is, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I don't even know about it in comic book stores, but I see Archie sell. I mean, it's on the newsstand still, and it sells.
Oh, yeah, it sells like crazy.
It's so nuts.
I sell that. I sell Sonic. I sell Mega Man.
Wow, Sonic and Mega Man. There's a reason that sells. don't lump it in the same group as Archie. I know they're the same publisher, but
yeah.
In other interesting news, Scooby-Doo and Batman have met before in one of the so-called new Scooby-Doo movies of the early 1970s, and then again on Batman the Brave and the Bold, the Scooby Gang and the dynamic duo will be teaming up once again, this time in digital comics. DC Digital announced in a Thursday panel at Comic-Con International. So far, here's what we know. The one-shot story will be titled Scooby-Doo Meets Batman and Robin, appropriately enough. Written by Sholly Fish, S-H-O-L-O-Y, who wrote several of the backup stories in Grant Morrison's Action Comics run. That's about all we know at the moment, but it will be a digital comic, and it will be Scooby-Doo and Batman and Robin, and I think that will be fun.
They're doing a lot of crossovers with different stuff. Like I know they got that WrestleMania WWE crossover with Scooby-Doo movie coming out sometime within next year.
I'm sorry, there's a Scooby-Doo WrestleMania movie coming out?
Yeah, and it's got a bunch of stars from the WWE.
Current stars?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then there's also going to be a crossover with Flintstones, with WWE as well.
Not Scooby-Doo.
Not Scooby-Doo. Well, both. They're going to do Scooby-Doo
separately.
Separately.
Okay.
They're doing movies.
All right. Yeah, why not? That's popular.
Yeah, so I will probably buy them.
Yeah, no kidding. So there was no, I'm not going to do that. There was a thing, well, I thought it was news, but really it's just James O'Barr did a new poster for the new Crow movie. So it's pretty, you should get online and check it out. It's kind of neat looking, if you like James O'Barr. Ubisoft announces a new Assassin's Creed Bronman.
Yeah, a comic. It's a
graphic novel.
Yeah. The previous graphic novels have actually been pretty good. They did a trilogy that was based on some other stuff that was going on in the Assassin's Creed games, and then they also did. There was an Italian book that was recently.
The Fall or The Chain?
Yeah, those were the
Like Cameron Stewart.
Yeah. Well, that's what this is. It's Cameron Stewart, Carl Kerschel, and Brendan Fletcher teaming up for Assassin's Creed Brahmin.
Yeah.
It's the latest comic set in the universe following The Fall and The Chain.
Yeah.
Apparently the story follows the adventures of Arbaz Mir as he faces down a foe who subjugated his land and people and who's now in possession of an artifact that may be a very powerful piece of Eden.
Yeah.
So there you go. That'll be fun. It says they're splitting the art duties because Kershey is drawing the book's flashback scenes set in the 1800s of India, and Stewart is drawing scenes set in the present day.
Yeah, that's kind of what they did with the other books. Is that one person draws the flashbacks and the other person draws the stuff that's in present day.
And you can pre-order it for $19.99, and it's a projected fall release in North America.
Cool.
So that is if you like Assassin's Creed. I tried to get some video game sort of stuff in there.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot that got because it's Comic-Con. They don't really focus on video games that much, unless it's like a comic book character getting their own video game, which I think there was something that was announced. I just don't remember what it was.
Well, following a different announcement, following up on the Thor material for which he is perhaps best known, cartoonist Walter Simonson announced at Comic-Con that he has created Ragnarok, a creator-owned Norse mythology project to be released through IDW Publishing. Additionally, Simonson confirmed that IDW will produce deluxe editions of his cult favorite science fiction title, Star Slammers. So I am. It's interesting that he's going to do. I guess because Marvel doesn't want him back for Thor, which whatever. He's decided to go kind of on his own and do his own.
I'm totally okay with that.
Book,
and I will buy it.
I am too. Yeah. If you go to the internets, you will see a picture that he has done for the new character, and I'm assuming it's Thor because he's carrying a hammer, sort of, and it's pretty awesome looking because it's Walter Simonson.
Cool. I was looking at my phone. Apparently, something was just announced that Guillermo del Toro is writing something for Warner Brothers, DC related. I don't know. I couldn't click on my phone because my phone died.
John will look that up while I continue reading additional news.
Sorry,
hey guys, Richard Stark. We all like Richard Stark's or Donald Westlake's Parker crime novels. Slayground, the fourth of Cook's Parker books, following The Hunter, The Outfit, and The Score, will arrive in stores and on digital services, digital devices in December.
The art they released with this is beautiful.
Well, right, like it always is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying it's Parker hiding in like a because the story
amusement park.
Yeah, the story takes place completely in an amusement park, sort of in the snow, dead of winter. And
In the news graphic novel, Parker is put to the test against crooked cops and sleazy gangsters after a heist goes south, and he finds himself trapped in an amusement park closed for the winter.
Yeah.
And embroiled in a deadly game of cat and mouse, a game that slowly starts to favor the mouse.
I've never read this novel, but I mean, the concept sounds fantastic.
It was released originally in 1971 before receiving a live-action film adaptation in 1983 starring Peter Coyote, renamed Stone for the movie. Huh. So you could look up Stone starring Peter Coyote if you want to see the movie adaptation of this book. So there you go. It's beautiful. I'm going to buy it. It's a no-brainer.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. I have to be a little cautious, because if they do a Martini edition, a second one, I have to buy that. So I can't double dip too much.
One of the beauties, and I said earlier, I love the original versions, the little hardbacks, because they look like novels on my bookshelf.
Yeah, that's true.
And so the uniformity of that, I love. And
I would own both. I'm okay with owning both.
I would like to own both. I'm not going to own both.
I don't own both.
I have to own the Martini edition.
I want to own the Martini edition, but I've shown restraint as much as I can.
So following the next piece of news here, following the successful collaboration with Judge Dredd, IDW Publishing and Rebellion 2000 AD announced at Comic-Con that they have selected Rogue Trooper as their next publishing initiative. IDW will not only produce a new Rogue Trooper series, but also reissue existing 2000 AD material in newly recolored edition. Here's the other announcement. This is why I clicked on this.
There's a dog.
My dog is hitting your microphone. That was weird. IDW also announced that it had secured the comic book rights to Hunter S. Thompson's classic work, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I got distracted by a dog. Who's...
IDW.
IDW is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
That is correct.
Oh my god, that's a little crazy. I hadn't heard this one.
Yeah. Fear and Loathing is the latest in a number of literary adaptations from IDW, which have included Beowulf, Dracula, Oliver Twist, as well as contemporary works like The Last Unicorn and the Parker novels of Richard Stark. IDW CEO Ted Adams expressed devotion to Thompson's work. I've read Thompson throughout my entire life. I'm very serious about doing this novel right. No creative team or release date has been announced, but given their past fidelity to artists, it seems likely the original Fear and Loathing illustrator, Ralph Steadman's work, will be part of the project in some way or another. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, in regards to collections, trades, hardcover, special edition things, IDW is just, they're kicking butt. There's very little that they produced that's a special edition that I'm not at least mildly interested in.
Yeah,
even if it's material maybe I don't know or don't love,
right.
They always look great. So yeah, I think that's kind of exciting. There's this one piece of news here, and I keep pushing it back because I know it's the last thing we're going to talk about. How about this? Fans of the X-Men poured into a room. There was a moderator at a panel. Blah blah blah. The return of Nightcrawler.
Which I know
we
is
kind of all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
did we?
Especially if you've been reading Wolverine and the X-Men.
Well, I mean, they've had the BAMFs, as they've been calling them, which are little imps that look like Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a hellmouth opened up underneath in Winchester that they all escaped through and are ransacking the school and causing
Westchester,
in Westchester. They're ransacking the school and causing all sorts of trouble, but that everyone just kind of has learned to live with them.
Yeah.
And so there's always a little fun thing that's going on in the background. They're always doing something fun. But yeah, so I mean, everyone went, at some point they're going to deal with those. And
they announced that Nightcrawler will be in the brand new series Amazing X-Men by Jason Aaron and artist Ed McGuinness.
Does that mean Wolverine and the X-Men is going away, or is this just another X-Men title?
Oh, it's probably just another title.
Yeah.
There are like 50 of them.
They stole the Spider-Man's title, Amazing Spider-Man. Now it's Amazing X-Men.
I don't have a problem with that necessarily.
By the way, I can't find anything on what you're...
I just saw some, Randy was talking about it on Facebook.
Okay, let me go to Facebook.
A few other people had done it just said, Warner Brothers lets Guillermo del Toro write a script for something. I assume it's the Justice League Dark.
Yeah, I would assume it's that too. But
script.
So this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con, they announced the title of our new Avengers movie.
Yes.
What's it called again?
Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
that is correct. That is correct. Now, of course, to non-comic book nerds, this title means very little. Possibly they might know who Ultron is in a vague sense. But comic nerds, especially comic nerds who are reading anything recent, perhaps the Age of Ultron series by Brian Bendis, not everybody is liking, most people are disliking, kind of went a little nuts. So, I think even during the... Whedon had to go back out, basically, and re-spin some stuff to clear up some of the misconceptions that the title has caused.
Well, I'm sure Bendis was super pleased. I mean,
I'm sure that was the plan.
I almost get the feeling that Bendis heard that that's what the title of the movie was going to be.
I think that was a directive. And we know what the title is. Here's what it is.
We're going to make a comic. I'm going to make a comic that uses that title so that when it gets announced, I'm going to get a ton of money.
No. The editor said
that comic was shit.
No, the editor said, we know the title of the movie, so the editor probably went to Bendis and said, you're going to write a comic, and it's going to be called Age of Ultron.
Here's my problem.
Here's your assignment, write it. And he said, okay, that could totally be why it sucks.
I don't think Bendis has an editor that tells him to do anything.
You don't think this? No. You don't think the editor-in-chief of... You don't think Alex Alonso can dictate to him that he has to write miniseries? I disagree.
I don't think so.
I disagree. I guarantee you he writes stuff he doesn't necessarily want to.
Maybe so.
I especially now that
he's their top talent, though.
Especially now that he's not their top talent. I mean, he's up there, but he's not alone. There's plenty of other top talent up there now. Brubaker's up there,
Brubaker doesn't work at Marvel.
Well, not Brubaker. What am I thinking of? Fraction.
Hickman.
Yeah. Hickman.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Okay, cool.
All right. So Whedon says, well, because there was a book called Age of Ultron quite recently, a lot of people have assumed that is what we're doing. that is not the case. We're doing our own version of the origin story for Ultron. In the origin story, there was a Hank Pym, so a lot of people assume that he will be in the mix. He's not. We're basically taking the things from the comics for the movies that we need and can use. A lot of stuff has to fall by the wayside.
I think that probably means Stark will have some involvement in that.
Yes,
and
continuing the quote, he says, we're crafting our own version of where his origin comes more directly from the Avengers we already know about. It's a little bit darker than the other film because Ultron is in the house. There's a science fiction theme that wasn't there in the other one. Ultron is definitely something that evolves, so we're going to get together a couple of different iterations. Nothing can be translated exactly as it was from the comics, particularly Ultron.
Well, I think that sounds cool.
I'm okay.
It's got to be Stark. I mean, it's got to be a creation of Stark's.
It's Jarvis. Jarvis goes crazy.
Right, Jarvis could go crazy.
That makes sense.
Totally be it.
And that would, work for
I'm okay with it
that
because,
character.
and this is actually something that it's funny because I was just reading the status from our friend Randy, and he basically says he's okay with this because A, we're going to get more Hawkeye. We all know he's a fan of Hawkeye, and B, there's no, without Hank Pym, that's not a deal breaker because, in all honesty, when you ask anyone who has a mild knowledge of Marvel and the character of Hank Pym, if you ask them what is he known for, they always say one of two things: he beat his wife, which he really only hit her once, but it's something that's stayed, and also he's responsible for creating Ultron. So maybe in movie form we can get a Hank that's a little bit better received by getting one of those things out before his character's ever introduced.
Well, and I doubt they'll introduce the other thing.
Yeah, true.
Finally, asked about the scale of the movie, Avengers 2, and which character he is most enjoying writing, he revealed. It's very much a global Avengers film. A lot of the movie has to do with the place, not just in America, but the world. Part of the fun for me, definitely this time around, is writing Hawkeye. He did get possessed pretty early by a bad guy and had to walk around all slowly for most of the movie, so it's nice to actually have a character there and see him interact with the other guys. This is what we talked about months and months ago when what's his name was complaining about his role in Hawkeye.
Renner.
Yeah, when Renner's complaining. That's a direct comment based on that negative press that the movie was getting.
Oh, yeah. And this is going to be a bigger film. I mean, I know there are two things I wanted to mention about this.
Yes.
One is the fact that Vin Diesel, he was at Comic-Con for Riddick.
Yeah.
And I know, he was teasing stuff for Marvel. I know he
signed some sort of contract.
He signed a contract.
We don't know what for.
We don't know what for. He's teased his Facebook like crazy, of course, because that's what he does to his fans. And I know he posted an image of the comic where Vision gets introduced and stuff. So that's what people were assuming he's going to play.
Is Ultron in that issue?
I don't know. I don't think Ultron is.
Was Vision kind of created from Ultron?
He was created from Ultron. So I
guess that works too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of hope that he's going to be the voice of Ultron. I think that I want him as Ultron. I want him as a villain. That'd be fun.
He's got the voice for it. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah. And the second thing, I think people are kind of freaking out that the villain is not Thanos.
Oh, no, yeah, save him for the third, man.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that, but I know people are flipping out.
Well, because he was the teaser. He was the tease for the next. Supposed to be the tease for the next movie.
Well, I disagree. Because generally, the tease at the end of the Marvel movie leads you into the next Marvel movie. The tease at the end of Incredible Hulk led us into Iron Man, correct? Yeah. And the tease at the end of Thor led us into
Captain America,
right? And the tease at the end of something else led us into Thor. One of the Iron Mans led us into Thor.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was Captain America led us.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this Thanos, isn't it more likely? It's teasing us into Galaxy or Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the next big movie, right?
Except for we know all the villains at this point. I mean, Thanos might be involved at some point. And again, he has been teased.
I think the correct usage of Thanos is you string him along in bits and pieces through the next several movies, and he's the big bad in Avengers.
And I actually don't disagree with you at all. I think that's the perfect way to do it. I'm just saying the fan outcry.
Because God knows, you do Thanos in 2. What the hell do you do in 3?
Yeah. The fan outcry has been there, and I was like, oh, well, Ultron's a really cool villain.
Ultron's going to be a fun villain. I think it's going to be a blast.
And I think, knowing that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and, a few other people are going to be there, I think, that's going to broaden the hero base and make it bigger. And
God, I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
Well, and speaking of Marvel movies, the thing I was so excited to see was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Now, they showed some footage. Of course, we were not there. We didn't see it. There were several kind of synopses that people kind of posted online about what they saw. And there were some pictures of some costumes and stuff.
Yeah, Marvel did release sort of a kind of a
at the booth
usual suspects lineup of the characters in costume.
I think they all look cool.
They look fantastic.
I think they look great. I love the little. I like how they all have kind of little leather outfits. Even Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah,
the little mini leather outfit thing is very clever.
Yeah, and the description of the tone of the movie felt very James Gunnish.
Yeah.
But also played to the Marvel strengths of the humor and action
and for me, when we talked about this before the show, before we started recording, like the little description of what they show in the trailer, it really, for me, it kind of clarified why they cast Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. Yeah. Just kind of the tone of the character really seems to fit that actor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've also... doing this, they've announced who a lot of the actors are going to be playing. So we now know who Benicio del Toro is going to be playing. He's going to be playing the Collector.
Okay. Which I think you had mentioned. That except I think you thought someone else was playing.
I thought somebody else would be the Collector. But he's signed a multi-part deal. So the Collector's apparently going to be showing up in several locations.
Cool.
So I'm cool with that. Lee Pace, he's going to be playing Ronan the Accuser. Oh, so we're going to get Kreese.
Yeah.
And that's going to be fantastic.
I dig that.
Yeah, I wish they'd announced who's going to do the voices for, Groot and Rocket Raccoon.
I don't think they did.
And then Karen Gillian is Nebula. Yes.
And
Lee Pace, Ronan the Accuser. Michael Rooker is Yondu.
Yep.
Zoe Saldana is Gamora. We know.
I heard it was interesting to hear James Gunn talk about Chris Bautista.
Yeah.
And saying that his acting is actually surprising him.
Chris Bautista. You mean
Dave Bautista. I'm sorry, not Chris Bautista. Yeah. I knew you would correct me if I was wrong. Yeah. Dave Bautista has actually been a standout for him.
Yeah, he's actually. Here's the thing that most people don't realize is that he actually, when he left wrestling, he actually went and took like acting schools and stuff like that. He actually made sure, he was like, if I'm going to do movies after this, I need to make sure that I'm doing movies and can make a career out of it.
Yeah.
And,
he's in Riddick as well.
Yeah, he's also in Riddick as well.
I saw the RZA's movie, and that was... He may have been a standout. He may have been a standout for me in that movie.
That movie was not that great.
No, and what they've also done today is, I know they showed all the costumes.
Yes.
And Peter Quill's costume is almost directly from the Abnett Landings. They've got the helmet, the mask. It just looks awesome. He even has a little Walkman that he wears, which I think is hilarious.
That's awesome.
So I'm very excited that they're taking so much from Abnett Landing. That leads me to believe that there's going to be an awesome summer movie or whenever this comes out. I think they did do a release date. I can't remember what they said, like September 18th or of next year.
Yeah.
But, all right, guys. Do you have anything else? Because I got one more big piece of news.
I do got a few.
Tell me a few things.
Since we were just talking about Marvel, I figure I'll start with this. So basically, in 2014, Marvel announced that in 2014 that we're going to get a new British invasion of sorts.
Yep.
Coming in January, cult favorite Marvel UK characters will return in a comic called Revolutionary War, which is going to be a limited series written by Andy Lanning and Alan Cowsell, and Empire will. And they're saying that the Empire will never be the same. Essentially, what they're doing is they're relaunching the old Marvel UK imprint, because in the 80s...
Which characters are this?
This was like, give me just a second here, I can say like Death's Head, Motormouth, Kill Power, Warheads, Dark Angel, Super Soldiers, Knights of the Pendragon.
I've read some of the Knights of the Pendragon, and I've read Death's Head. Death's Head's awesome.
I remember reading some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And all those, and if you recognize any of those names that I mentioned, they did state that all of those characters will be appearing, and there's very possible that they're trying to use this series as a launching pad for these characters to get their own books from that. And they said that a lot of these people are going to be very happy, and they're doing it just like in those books in the 80s. They were their own kind of imprint. That they all shared the same world, but they were part of yet separate from the Marvel universe.
Yep.
In a way, which kind of leads me into a rumor that spawned because of another piece of news.
And that piece of news is IDW losing the license of Doctor Who.
Correct. So some people are wondering, because all the characters that were specifically mentioned in the article all had ties to the character of Doctor Who when Marvel was printing the Doctor Who comics. Doctor Who appeared in all of those books.
And
so a lot of people are speculating
that Marvel's
that they're part of the reason they're doing this is because Doctor Who's they're getting the license once IDW loses it. Now, I say that
is a
grain of salt.
Yeah.
This is like far-stretching, wild speculation from the internet.
The dots, but it makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And why not? Marvel's done. They do, licensed stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So certainly, why not? I mean, and God knows they know at this point Doctor Who can be successful. So go for it.
Yeah. But
all right.
Moving on to movie news. This is the thing that Nick was talking about. So this is not so much tied to Comic-Con, but Guillermo del Toro was in an interview and he got asked about the possibility of a sequel for Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
And he said that he has confirmed that Warner Brothers has allowed him and his team to start working on the script for a sequel. And he says it's currently working on it. He goes, I'll tell you a couple things. We have Gypsy 2.0 for sure. Second thing is you're going to see a merging of Kaiju and Jaeger. And that is quite special.
I was sort of excited for a Justice League Dark. Screw that. Give me more Pacific Rim. I want more Pacific Rim.
Yeah. So he basically said that there's a lot of deleted scenes from the movie hinted at possible plot lines for a sequel. Pacific Rim obviously ended with a huge showdown. Yeah. I'm not really going to spoil that. But
you guys reviewed this last week, right?
Yes.
Just to throw my 2 cents in there. You both agreed it was the best movie this summer.
We gave it the bombastic seal.
It was the best movie this summer.
We gave it the bombastic seal.
It was fucking awesome.
So you agree with us on that?
It was fucking awesome.
See, we thought you were going to say no, it was bad.
No, it was fucking awesome.
Okay. So essentially he is saying that there is...
The movie was so good, I went out the next day. I went out and bought Evangeline, the 2 movies that they made. The Neon Evangeline.
Yeah.
I went out and bought both of the new movies that they did just because...
There's a third one coming out soon.
Right, and I'll get that too because it was close enough. I wanted more giant robots. I had to have more giant robots.
But he did say the main idea we're bouncing off is the fact that Newt drifted with a kaiju brain. Which that's not really a spoiler. I mean, you don't even understand it if you haven't seen the movie. And all kaiju brains are connected. We say that they are like a hive mind mentality. So draw your own conclusions. We've drifted with a kaiju brain. Well, then start riffing on that, and you'll get kind of what we're going to be doing.
God, I love Charlie from It's Always Sunny. He was so great.
Yeah, he was good in that movie.
So fucking great. Everybody in that movie was great.
So
that movie was great.
There's a very good chance we're going to be getting a sequel.
The movie worldwide right now, I'm looking it up. Worldwide today, it is $178,535,000.
That warrants a sequel.
The budget was $190 million. But it's only week 2.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely make its money back and make a profit. So yay.
Yeah.
You guys stayed for the after.
Oh yeah.
Big credit sequence.
Yep. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Should we talk about the
I'm sorry, just one more time. That fucking movie was awesome.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're right.
Which was so goddamn good.
Yeah, I was actually upset. My girlfriend went and saw it yesterday.
Without you?
Because I was at work.
I would never say this about anyone, but goddamn her.
Yeah, I was like, well, it's like she told me ahead of time. Like she was like, "Are you sure you're okay with me going to see it?" And I was like, I want to say I'm not okay, but I don't want to. I also don't want to cause you to lose out on seeing it again because it's that awesome.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm going to own that movie. I'm just going to put it on a repeat for like 2 days.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it last week. Like an hour, maybe even 30 minutes in the movie. I'm like, I'm going to buy the Blu-ray. I'm going to buy the Blu-ray.
Well, it's going to be one of those things like Avengers. I watched Avengers a dozen times. It's going to easily be exactly the same thing.
That's what we should do. We'll do when it comes out. We'll do a Avengers Pacific Rim double feature. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It's the 2 best movies of the last couple of years. All right, so
should we talk about the
let's talk about.
I have one very small piece of news
before we get to the big piece.
Dark Horse.
Yes, Dark Horse.
Gail Simone is teaming with them. They're going to do a Tomb Raider book.
Oh, okay.
Which
Gail Simone.
It's supposed to tie the 2 game, the last game that came out with the next Tomb Raider.
Which I'm excited for because actually I loved that game. I thought I went through that so fast.
Rod still got my copy.
I have it. I can give it back to you. I loved that game as well.
And I'm curious to see where Gail Simone, which I think she'll write that character very well, and takes that character. So
I agree.
I don't think an artist was announced, but I'm excited for a Tomb Raider comic.
Yeah,
I think that'll be cool for Dark Horse to do.
That's very groovy.
So I think we do have one more piece.
Oh my goodness, do we ever? So at the San Diego Comic-Con International, it concluded in grand fashion. Man of Steel director Zack Snyder and stars Henry Cavill with Henry Lennox, joined on stage to announce the team's intention to produce a film featuring both Superman and Batman. No other title or information was revealed besides the fact that it will star Cavill and the displaying of a teaser graphic, which was the Superman-Batman logo from the book, basically. And Lennox reading of a Frank Miller line, a passage from the climax of the fight from The Dark Knight Returns. I want you to remember, Clark, and all the years to come in your most private moments. I want you to remember my hand at your throat. I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
Sorry.
Warner Brothers did issue a press release shortly after the panel, which came with the following facts and remarks about the film, which will unite Bob Kane and Bill Finger's Batman with Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's Superman for the very first time on the big screen. The film story will be crafted by Snyder and Man of Steel screenwriter David S. Goyer, who will write the screenplay for the yet untitled film. Christopher Nolan and Emma Thomas will serve as executive producers, not Emma Thompson, which I thought like the first 3 times I read it. DC Entertainment President Diane Nelson said, Superman and Batman together on the big screen is a dream come true for DC fans everywhere. All of us at DC Entertainment could not be more excited for Zack's continuing vision for the DC Universe. And last, Man of Steel and Dark Knight trilogy producer Emma Thomas said, whilst our Dark Knight trilogy is complete, we have every confidence that Zack's fresh interpretation will take the character in a new and exciting direction. His vision for Superman opened the door to a whole new universe, and we can't wait to see what Zack does with these characters. I agree, it was a different universe for Superman.
They're going to blow up a city in every
they're going to blow up every city in this movie. Every city in the U.S., and then in the Justice League movie, they'll blow up all the cities.
All at once.
They'll have that meme, the guy will be running across, all the cities, blow them up! What do we think, guys?
Here's the
okay. I'm going to say this real quick. It's like I have psychic ability.
Yes.
John hates the fact that they use Dark Knight as a reference point for it, because John hates Dark Knight Returns.
And
his opinion automatically is going to be negative.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I was on board when they announced that Zack Snyder was going to be doing Superman and that Goyer was going to be writing Superman. I saw the movie and I liked the movie. So I didn't hate it. I actually thought it was good. It has
problems, but it's an okay film.
It's an okay film. So I was on board. They said, okay, Goyer and Zack Snyder are going to be on board for the sequel. I'm like, you know what? You still got me. I'm ready. I'm down. Let's do this. Let's do a proper Superman story now. Let's get it. We got the origin out of the way. And then they fucking quote Dark Knight Returns. Now, they did say, we're not adapting the Dark Knight Returns, but we are... That line is supposed to give you an idea of the tone, and the response is like, no, that line is basically based on the fact that Superman and Batman have known each other for many, many years, and that was what the purpose of that line is in that book. But it's just like, that's not the tone that you need to have.
Well, it's a continuing tone of you haven't earned this scene yet.
Yeah, it's like, that's not the tone you need to have when they first meet.
I don't like that they use that quote. And I don't want the tone to be adversarial between the two
characters.
It
totally is going to be. The first half of the movie, they're going to fight, and at the end, they're going to come together, and they're going to
Can't we do something different, though? I mean...
But they haven't done it. It's never been done on screen.
In live action.
It's never been done on the big screen. You have to understand, to us, this will be a thing we've seen 1 billion times. To the 1 billion people who don't read comics, this will be the first time they've seen superheroes meet, fight, and then team up and defeat the bad guy.
They saw it in Marvel. The movie universe.
Not really.
They saw Thor kick the crap out of Iron Man.
All right, yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, great, so it'll be the second time they've seen it. It's the first time they've seen Batman do it.
Yeah.
It's a trope. It's a trope. They're going to use it. To us, it's so old, but to the movie audience, it's pretty new.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that
Plus, it feeds into the who would win.
I just don't want Zack Snyder and David Goyer.
It's the age-old question that is actually answered by Superman, who just uses heat vision from a mile away from Batman and zaps his brain. Oh, fight over.
Not if Batman had time to prepare.
Yeah, and this was also the book that started that bullshit. So you know that's I'm sorry, superpowered person versus Batman. superpower person wins.
I don't agree with that because I don't agree with that. I don't disagree with the fact that Superman could beat Batman. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I will agree that it is I would say that it's an age-old thing in superhero comics that the villain always gets beat, even when the villain is more powerful than the superhero in many cases, because that's the whole crux of the arc, right? How do I defeat this guy who's more powerful than me? Yeah. That's all Dark Knight Returns was. How do I defeat Superman who's more powerful than me?
And in that book,
Superman was the villain,
which was of course completely mischaracterized, and part of the reason that I hate it.
Well, it's the Reagan era Superman, right? So
Well, I mean. Yes,
even though Superman in the comics was never like that.
Every fanboy wants Superman and Batman on the big screen. We're all going to go see it.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Like I said, and as much as it pisses me off, and as much as reading that made me go, oh, fuck you, Zack Snyder. You fucking had me and you lost me. You can go suck a dick.
I just don't. I don't like the continuing darker tone that DC has taken.
But I'm just saying, as much as I said that.
Isn't it weird that for our bright and shiny superheroes, we have to go watch the Marvel movies? Where normally that's where you go for kind of your more realistic, mature, and you go to DC for your bright and shiny, sparkling cheesecake hero American guy, and now it's the opposite in the movie universe. It's very strange.
Yeah. But no, here's the thing. Regardless of what I say and regardless of what I hear, I'm not gonna make any initial judgments on I'm gonna hate seeing that movie or anything like that until I see a trailer. Once I see a trailer and see what they're going for, then I can actually go, all right, maybe I'll give it. Maybe I'm wrong.
And I'll say too, from a marketing perspective, from a promotional perspective, you two guys don't love Dark Knight Returns, the tone that it sets. Most comic book nerds love that book. Most comic book nerds think that book is the end-all be-all of any Batman book ever. Right? That is. Sure, but that
sorry,
maybe,
I'm joking.
But that is the consensus, right?
Yeah.
I like
so from a marketing standpoint, at Comic-Con, that's the right button to press.
Yes, it is.
And here's the thing: they're saying we're hitting this button, and then they immediately say we're not doing that story. Well, okay, so then really what you did was you said this to push the buttons of the comic fanboys to get them all excited. Oh, okay, so. I want to wait and see what's actually going to happen.
Yeah, no, like I said.
I think if you wanted to push that fandom's button and everyone's button, have the person who's going to play Batman read a line, come out on stage.
Well, I don't think they have.
They haven't cast them yet.
They should have. They should have already done it. If they're wanting to film in 2014, it's not that far away.
Yeah.
They could have had it lined up.
Who do we think, guys? Who's Batman?
Michael Keaton.
No. Adam West, goddammit.
Michael Keaton was a damn good Batman. I don't know what you're talking about.
Charlie Day.
Who do we
Charlie Day is Batman.
I would watch that movie. God, I'd buy the Blu-ray before it even came out. Who do we...
I have no earthly clue.
I gotta say, in this universe, and this is gonna be awful because he was just in a really bad movie, I think Armie Hammer would be a good Batman. I mean, he was cast in the Justice League movie before it got canned.
No, I don't think that's a bad choice.
No, I think he would be okay. He's the right age, he's got the look, and his tone's okay for it.
Yeah. No, I think Armie Hammer would be fine.
Yeah, he'd be okay.
I just think if you wanted to go crazy, get your Batman out on stage. Marvel did that with... They had Loki come out on stage.
The only problem with that is, what if they announce the casting and people don't like it? Can you imagine they walk out stage and fanboys immediately go, oh no, the wrong guy?
Like he just said, let's go crazy. Let's get nuts.
Yeah. Marvel had Loki come out and introduce everything.
The Loki thing was pretty awesome. I saw a couple of pictures of that.
Yeah. I watched the YouTube clip of that.
How great is that? How great is that?
Marvel knows how to push.
Let me tell you something. Is there anything in the movie universe that Marvel's not doing right? I can't think of a thing.
It's like they know they have their finger on the pulse, and DC is just kind of way back there.
Well, okay, so they announced. Okay, so with this announcement, what they have said is, we're doing Batman, Superman. And then they also announced, then we're doing The Flash.
Yeah. Then we're doing...
no, that was a Hollywood Reporter.
That was a Hollywood Reporter. They did not announce that.
They did not announce that. Basically, the Hollywood Reporter said that Warner Brothers further fleshed out superhero movie schedule with tentative plans for a Flash movie in 2016, along with another film that is unnamed.
Okay.
Because they don't know what it is. Most likely it'll probably be Wonder Woman, or... Yeah. And really, it needs to be Wonder Woman. Yes. But it could be anything, and
could
then
be
doing
a retooling of Green Lantern, perhaps.
And then doing a Justice League film in.
Can we agree at least that it's a step in the right direction? that instead of making Justice League the next movie, they have backed off that and said, no, we'll do a team-up movie, we'll do a couple of solo movies, then we'll lead into the big movie.
I think it's a better...
I mean, it definitely, I think you can look at it, I think we have to admit, in the pro-DC column, which there's not a lot of that right now.
Oh, no, I'm excited for it.
I think at least that has shown us that they've pulled their heads out of their butts and they realize they need to kind of do it in the right order. And P.S., side note, I really want the Flash movie to be good.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, please. That would be my only real, please recast the Green Lantern so you can make Ryan Reynolds the Flash. Although,
somebody else.
You know who I'd love to see as the Flash? He's too old, but I'd love Neil Patrick Harris as the Flash. I think he'd be great. God damn it, he was awesome in New Frontier.
Yeah, he was just a voice, but yeah. He was good.
He was great. He would be awesome. I would love to see him. He's skinny. He's in shape. He could totally do it.
For a Batman Superman movie, I did have one question for you guys.
Yes.
Villain. Well, is there a villain, or are they fighting it
out?
There's got to be a villain. There's got to be a villain. There's a part of me that wants to say Lex.
Well, so it's going to be two, right? It's going to be two villains. They're never going to just one villain.
I would be the person to say it's Lex, because you have the millionaire
But
industrialist.
it's Zack Snyder, who's clearly shown he needs Superman to be able to punch something. So,
Metallo.
Yeah, you could do that. You could be Lex and Metallo.
But do you take one rogue from Batman's world and pair him with somebody from, Lex and...
I think Lex is a great introduction because they're both industrialist billionaires.
But if they do a Superman 2 before this Batman Superman...
Well, looking at the stuff, we were talking about it beforehand. I'd read somewhere that they were doing Superman. That was actually also from the Hollywood Reporter, that they were going to do a Man of Steel 2 and then Man of Steel 3.
Well, from what we heard previously, they did say that they wanted a Superman movie for next year.
Yeah, but no, it actually is. It's going to be, the next movie is the Superman Batman movie.
So we did clarify that.
It's Superman 2
Batman
guest starring Batman.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I almost think there's
You wouldn't see Lex Joker?
No, they're not going to do the Joker.
No Lex Joker.
I can't guarantee you. I would bet huge dollars that you don't see the Joker for at least another 3 or 4 movies. Yeah. I think you're going to have. I don't think they're going to use him in any mixed universe stuff. I think it's going to be in a solo Batman movie before you see Joker again. I don't think they're going to use him in Justice League. I don't think they're going to use him in. I think with Heath Ledger's impression, with that hanging over you, I think they wait.
People love Joker.
People do love Joker.
They do love the Joker.
I don't think the Joker, there have been a couple of stories where the Joker's been involved with Superman stuff and it's worked, but more often than not it doesn't.
This is the reason why I don't think there'll be a Batman villain in it, because they've gone out of their way to point out, this is Man of Steel 2 and Batman appears in it.
Right.
And he meets Batman in this movie. This
is also, what Batman villain does Superman not beat in 10 seconds?
And well, it's not just that, it's just the fact that it's more
Besides the Joker.
They're pushing it as, this is a Superman movie that Batman appears in. That they introduce the character of Batman.
Yeah. It's kind of awesome that really what they're saying is the next Superman movie has Batman in it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way they've been pushing it whenever they talk about
it.
So I get the feeling that it's going to be a Superman movie, and it's going to have a Superman villain, which was why I kind of say Lex, because they set it up at the end for Rex to rebuild and stuff like that. Maybe even have the reason Bruce Wayne is in Metropolis is
that makes perfect sense.
He's vying for contracts to help rebuild.
He's got money, he's got power, whatever.
Yeah, he's offering to help rebuild Metropolis.
Blah blah blah.
And then you can even do Metallo or Brainiac or whatever you want to do in addition to
giant Lex Luthor robots, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Gypsy Danger versus Superman.
But I don't. Did anyone else have any news?
That's
the last thing.
That's it.
We've gnawed at the bones of San Diego.
I'm sure we've missed a few things.
Sure, there's huge things we've missed. Those are the things that we saw that we liked.
News-wise online, we didn't actually see it in person, unfortunately.
Right,
unfortunately.
But
I think that's it.
That's all the time we have this week.
Good Lord. You can go to all of the things that we do.
Yeah. Until next time, you can go to our website, which is geekbombast.com. Yay. It's there.
It's working.
It's working. Woohoo. You'll probably hear me say stuff like that for at least the next 2 or 3 episodes.
Until it's not working.
Yeah, until I break it again. And then also...
This is why we can't have nice things, John.
Don't do that.
Well, I'm also the one who fixes it.
So. Fair point. All right.
So, but anyways, and usually I break it in service of trying to fix something.
So we're on our website.
We're on our website,
geekbombast.com.
We're on iTunes. Go to iTunes, subscribe to us. We're on Facebook. Yes. We're on Twitter.
We're on YouTube.
And
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I'm pointing at the camera over there. We're on YouTube doing stuff, and I think that's it. Do we have an email address?
We have an email address.
geekbombast@gmail.com.
Having said all of that,
He's Freakazoid.
I'm Nick Budd.
I'm Ron.
I'm actually John, but we're out.